the Oregon Mountains to all the Mesilla Valley, reaching all of New Mexico. Broadcasting live from the Las Cruces studios, bringing you the issues that matter and the topics that count. Telling it like it is. It's the Mike Tellez Show. And now here's your host, Mike Tellez.
Hello, how are you doing today? I'm Mike Tellez. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about a few areas, mainly how's life today? How is it? How's everything going? And you know, 1 year ago we were in the beginning stages of a lockdown. I mean, we were locked down. We were in the pandemic. Was starting to gain the momentum of fear and fright. It started getting a little stricter and stricter on what we could and couldn't do. Well, 1 year later, they're starting to ease it. What do we see? What do you see? I'm going to tell you a few things that I have really noticed is how angry people are right now. People are angry. You see a lot of angry people. You see short tempers. You see people getting upset real easy. You know, I was in a restaurant the other day, and I was waiting. Oh, I tell you, the wait was about 20 minutes to be seated. And boy, people were really starting to get upset because they said, why are we waiting? It doesn't even look busy in here. You know, the businesses are reopening right now. This is one of the hardest times to be a business owner. You know, I was in the restaurant industry for 30 years, and you know, I sold 12 years ago. Thank God I am not in it now. I would not want to be in their shoes for nothing. Right now, business owners are having to reopen their business for about the 5th time. They're having to try to convince employees to come back who they've 5 different times they've had to come back, let them go. Come back, let them know. You know what? I don't blame the employees for not trusting what's going to happen next as much as I don't blame the restaurants and the businesses for having such a hard time getting back to the standard of service they're used to. You know, it's not the business's fault. It's not the employee's fault. It is the fact that we were shut down and these businesses are having to start over for the 4th, 5th time they're having to start over. They can't get enough employees. You know, I heard yesterday a stat coming that if you're making under $31,000 a year, it's not worth going back to your job you're making that at. Right now, the benefits being paid for unemployment is $31,000 a year. I saw that on the news yesterday. $31,000 a year just to stay home. Who wouldn't do that? If they're making anywhere from under that, who wouldn't want that? And who wouldn't want to stay home when they've been let go so many times under opening, closing, opening, closing? It's like a circus, the way we open our state, close our state. Open our businesses, close our business. Say we have a green light, you could do this. We got a turquoise light, you could do this. Nope, we got a yellow light, you got to shut everything down. You got to close at 10 o'clock at night. You cannot run business as usual right now because of all what has been going on. And you know what, I'm going to tell you something, that the coronavirus, that was probably a serious thing. But I'm looking at states that didn't shut everything totally down. And, you know, they appear to be doing really well. Look at Florida. Florida's doing real well right now. You know, while they take precautions, you know, masks, everyone's starting to get used to it. That's what I say. If you don't feel well, wear a mask. Wash your hands every single chance you get. Everybody by now has sanitizer in their pocket, in their purse, in their vehicle. They all have sanitizer. You know what? Use it. Sanitize. Take care of yourself and, you know, wash your hands and follow proper hygiene. You know that, it's simple. You don't carry, even I carry these things around now. You know, I'm not a germaphobe. I've never been one of those people that did that. But you know, in the last year, I cannot believe how many times I washed my hands. I cannot believe how many times I put this on my hands. It's insane how many times. And you know, it's because we've been just indoctrinated into believing this is the cure-all, even though some say it isn't. But hey, I've gotten used to it. I'm doing it. So there are some precautions we need to forever take. Our world will never be the same. It will not be the same. We're not going to return to 2019 when everything was okay. We are right now in a world that there's a new norm, and we need to get used to it. And you know what? More than anything else we need to do, we as people, we as customers, we as residents, we as Las Cruces people, we have got to calm down. When you go into a business and the wait is long and the service isn't up to standard, you know what? You have to understand, these people have gone through hell and back in the last year in business hell. We used to have a term called business hell. Business hell is when the operations are collapsing and you cannot find a way to bring them under control. That's when you feel like you're just totally lost. Imagine being a business owner and continuously being shut down. Now, I'm going to tell you who has absolutely benefited to no end. That's the drive-thrus. The rules were a little different for them, and, you know, maybe it was fair, maybe it wasn't, but they are the ones who have benefited the very most, are the drive-thrus. Now, we have got to understand that we have got a large portion of our businesses, our workforce are in sit-down dining. I'm not in that industry, and you know, the reason I talk about that is because that's where my heart, my DNA is in business. And you got to understand, we need to be fair to these business people who have had to endure all of this and have a little bit more patience with them. Be patient. You go in to eat, be a little more patient and understand things may be a click or two off because they are working as hard as they can in these restaurants, in these businesses that have been shut down. They're working as hard as they can to try to put it back together. And it is a tough job to put back together a business that has been forced to close down over and over and over and over. So I'm asking for patience in that area. We see for some reason, I just cannot believe, we have incidences popping up all over of people breaking into businesses and destroying them. I saw Beck's Coffee Shop. You know what? It's tough to own a business. It's tough to be in business. Can you imagine going through this last year of all the difficulties and staying alive, trying to make it, trying to survive? I mean, you are doing everything. You're at the brink of losing every single thing to your name, only for when you see a little light at the end of the tunnel, you get to reopen, someone comes in and destroys your business. You know, it's hard to be a business person. Imagine walking into your business when you finally have a chance to get started again, and it's destroyed. It's completely trashed out, like they did Beck's and I believe Mateo's. They've done a couple of these businesses. My heart breaks for those businesses. My goodness. You know what? I guarantee you, if ever you're going to see an adult, a grown person cry, I bet you those people cried when they walked in that door and saw their lives again hit with another disaster. All these different businesses that were broken into and robbed and ravished. Just imagine the harm, the hurt those people went through. You know what? I urge you all to go to Beck's and buy some coffee. Go to Beck's and purchase something. Go in there and help those people out with your business. And you know what? When you go in, have a little compassion for them, and tell them, you know what? I'm sorry what you just went through, and order something, take something to go with you, but support these people here. This is an independent business right here. This business does not have any help from anywhere else. You don't see fancy commercials on TV for them because they're an independent business. That's where I grew up. I grew up in an independent business that didn't have the money or the advertising budget. So you know what? We got to take care of these independents that are trying to get their lives back together. Go in there. Go to their businesses. Eat. Buy your coffee there. You know, give Starbucks a break for a while, and they're doing okay. Starbucks is a nationally owned chain. They've got plenty. Let's go help some of these local places. Beck's Coffee Shop. Let's go there. Go, you know, get out. I go to Starbucks sometimes. I pass by there. There is a line down the road to get in there. And you know what? They'll wait and wait and wait. Well, you know what? We have other places. Let's start trying some of our local coffee houses. Let's start trying them and give some of our money to some of the people that live here. Have kids here that go to school here that grow up in our neighborhoods and support our community. We need to start supporting them. And it may be a few blocks out of your way, but you know what? Go to it. It's on Mesquite. Go down Mesquite Street. Look at some of those restaurants there. No Politos is there. They got the coffee shop there right across the street from the park. Go patronize some of the businesses that are out of the way. Let's get out of that drive-through line for a while and go sit down and enjoy a meal in a restaurant served to us by people who would do anything to get us to go back into their businesses again. My friend at IHOP, go in there, try it. And you know what? When you go into these restaurants, IHOP, Village Inn, Denny's, you go into those restaurants, you need to understand something up front. That service is not going to be where it was once before. They are too rebuilding. They're having to retrain staff members. They're having to try to get employees to come back. And you know what? I'll tell you, being in the restaurant business, it is tough training a cook. It sometimes takes years to train cooks to be proficient in that fast pace of business. So we have got to be patient with them. We can't go out there and say, that was terrible, I'm never going back. No. We need to be patient and say, you know what? This is a result of being forced to shut down over and over and over again. And you know, I did not agree with that. I didn't like it, but it was a fact of life. It was, you know, we do what we're told to do. And I didn't like it because I could just imagine the grief of a business having to lay off all the employees and then be told, okay, it's good, you could hire some more, and hire them right back, train them, and lay them off again. We have got to show patience to our businesses, and we need to start going back to work. We need to start getting back out there and showing that we're a force right here. We're a force to be dealt with. Once we get into that workplace, we are the force to be dealt with. All you people in the restaurant industry, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what we can do to move our city forward a little bit more on the Mike Tellez Show. My name is Mike Tellez.
Living with eczema can be distressing and the condition is on the rise. 3A Research in Las Cruces is conducting an 8-week clinical trial and seeking participants ages 12 and older for a clinical research study on an investigational drug for eczema. Study-related exam and procedures at no cost. Compensation for time and travel up to $450 will be provided. Call us at 575-288-1646 to see if you qualify.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. That's 866-372-3669.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Do you suffer from rashes, dryness, flakiness, and thickness to the skin? 3A Research is conducting a trial of an investigational drug on plaque psoriasis. Subjects must be 18 years of age or older. This is an 8-week study. We will compensate you for your time and travel up to $225.
Enrolling participants now in Las Cruces. Contact our office at 575-288-1646 or visit our Facebook page at 3A Research or our website 3asites.com.
I'm back, Mike Tellez. We are coming from the fabulous Las Cruces studios, broadcasting on the Las Cruces Channel Network. You need to please join us. We're on Saturdays, 12:30, Sunday, 12:30 and 6:30. Join us. Take a look at it. Go to the Channel 98. Go to the website and take a look at all the different programs that are offered on that Las Cruces Channel Network. It's amazing. There's some good stuff on there. So join us. Thank you for joining us. And you know what? I thank Chris and all the gang that keeps this program going. And I'm telling you, we appreciate them. Now, summer's on the way. Here we go. Believe it or not, school is almost out when we think school's been out. But in all reality, you know, it seems like, you know, school's been out. They haven't been going, so why school out? Well, I'm going to tell you, they've been online. Just imagine this. From one day to the next, they go from sitting in a classroom in a structured, disciplined setting to having an iPad or a computer in front of them, having to learn from that. That has got to be one tough endeavor there. You know, I talked to different kids who just struggled. They were having a hard time getting through this. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. You've got to tip your hat to all these students that roughed it through online classes this year and were able to keep up and get through it. It's been tough. You know, it has been a tough transition. Imagine all these students and all these young people that imagine not having the social life of high school, of middle school, of having their friends, you know, spending your senior year sitting at home on a computer. That had to be tough on them, and I'm going to tell you what, I applaud you all for going through such a tough year and hanging in there. And you know what? Hopefully we can get back to school, get things back to somewhat normal in September, August, September, whenever they do open it again. Hopefully you get to enjoy your senior year and your junior year and get to enjoy your life a little bit. It's been tough cooped up for 1 year like this. So, you know, along with the businesses suffering, you've got to understand all our students, the parents who've been grounded, having to stay home, can't go to work, just what they've gone through in wondering what is going to happen next. And my goodness, well, I'm going to tell you what needs to happen next. We need to stand up, brush ourselves off, get back to our jobs, get back to where we worked, get back to what we were great at, and turn this engine back on. Turn Las Cruces back on. Get these businesses that are having a hard time opening because they can't get employees back. I'm going to plead with you employees out there, go back to work and help the businesses that need you. I'm going to tell you what, if I was in that restaurant business right now, I would be at your house right now asking you to come back to work. I'd be giving you whatever it took. I'd get you back to work because I know the value of great employees. And I'm going to tell you what, I loved my employees. They were great. I used to say I had the very best staff there was. The best front of the house, the best cooks, the best dishwashers. I'd be at their houses right now. business owners, I'm going to tell you what, I'd get on that phone and start calling them and start going to their houses. It doesn't matter what it takes. I'm going to tell you, this is not a time to be prideful. This is a time to start getting back to work and getting things going again. And you know what? Quit focusing on that news. I know that you've been sitting at home for the last year and all you've had to do is watch that TV. Turn that thing off for a while. I'm going to ask you, fast from the news for a while. Get away from the news and the negative and the doom and gloom. Turn that off. Give yourself a couple weeks off and watch how much better you feel. That news does nothing but stresses and confuses us. I'm going to tell you what I do. I don't look and see what Fox has to say. I don't look and see what CNN has to say. You know what I do? I look up. I look up and I pray to God, the only one that can change my world, change something. I look to God. I look to God and I pray to God in Jesus' name to restore our land. I am not one of those who's going to let CNN, Fox News, any of those channels, MSNBC, any of them, mess with my world and mess with my life. All that hate we see on late night, Colbert, all those different guys, Kimmel, all that hate, turn it off for a while. Give yourself a break. We don't need a refuel of hate anymore. We need a refuel of love, compassion, hope, and care for human beings, for each other. Get that hate out of us. Throw that away. Turn that channel off for a while. I'm telling you, I am challenging you to turn that news off. Turn all those late night shows that are bashing and delivering hate. It doesn't matter what party you are. We are still the people, and we still control that dial on our TV, on our cell phone, on our computer. When that negativity comes, when that hate starts coming out, turn it off. Let's take a 2-week break and let's start looking at our city. What do we need to do to get our city back on track again? What do we need to do to get people working, to get businesses thriving again? What do we need to do to help find a way to get these young people from breaking into places and tearing them up? We need to start getting activities for people to do here. You know what? We have an airport down there. We need to open up drag racing on Friday night, get a safety safari out there, get some lights, food trucks. Give these young people some place to go. Give them a drag strip to race on. Get them off the streets drag racing them. Give them a safe spot. Let's find things for them to do. An amusement park, Burns Lake, they're going to spend $3 million redoing it for a dog park. Hey, you know what? Why don't we spend $3 million redoing the front part as an amusement park? Why don't we put a large indoor skate park in there, maybe like a Vans park? Why don't we do something to get people something to do? There's nothing to do here. So what is going to happen when there's nothing to do? That's where mischief comes from. And you know, we're all guilty of it at one time or another in our lives. None of us are saints. None of us are perfect. We've all got into mischief. But it's usually because you're bored and don't have nothing else to do. You know what? We need to start with ideas. What would you do? What do you like? What would you like to see happen in Las Cruces? You know what? Send me an email. What do you think would be exciting? Something that we could build, put up here that would be exciting to do to take some of that boredom away. Send me a message on my email at the Mike Tellez Show at gmail.com. It's simple, Mike Tellez Show at gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are. What would you like to see? Would you like to see an amusement park go up? Hey, I would. Would you like to see a large indoor skate park, heated and cooled? Right there in front of Burns Lake, that giant field. Why don't we put one there? There we could control the inside heat, and we could make it a safe place to go because we know who's going in or out. We don't have to worry about weapons because we can screen for weapons. We can screen for the wrong things going in, alcohol, drugs. We can have a safe place for people to go in and have fun. You know, we had fun when we were young. We got to cruise around. We got to do a lot more things. It's time for us to start putting our thinking hats. Summer's here. These young people are able to go outside for a while from being incarcerated for the last year. Let them out. Let's start thinking, what can we do to make this a more exciting city? We need this to be an all-American city, a city that has things for young and older to do alike. We need to take care of our community. We need to get out there and get these businesses going. We need to go back to work. We need to put our thinking hats on. There's a lot of people that have brilliant ideas. We need brilliant ideas to go forward. Let's get our thinkers back out. Let's get our volunteers back out, helping people that may need help. Let's get up and let's make our city the best city to live in. Right now, we cannot stay down and out and mean and angry because service isn't good and angry because you've been cooped up for a long time. Let's say, you know what? Let's shake it off. Let's look up. Let's pray to God for God to restore our land. Let's thank God in the name of Jesus Christ that He has blessed our city. And let's get out and let's make our city an all-American city, a place that anyone would love to move to and live in. And for businesses would love to bring their company here and open a company here because this is just a good city to do business in. You know, businesses are not going to move into a city that does not have a workforce. If you do not have a workforce for the local restaurants and the local businesses, there is absolutely no chance any real businesses want to come into the town. We are so grateful and thankful for businesses that are willing to come in our town and offer opportunity at this time, like 3A Research. They're bringing their research down to our city right here. They're offering a deal here to, 12 years old or older to, I'm going to read this so I get it exactly right. Redness, itching, scaly rashes. That's what they're looking for. 3A Research is conducting a clinical trial on an investigational drug on eczema. The subject must be 12 years or older. It's an 8-week study. Study-related physical exam and procedures are at no cost. Compensation for time and travel up to $450. That is here in Las Cruces. You are going to get compensated for going to that. They're doing a second one. The second one is dry, flaky, thin skin. My goodness, who don't have that at one time or another? 3A Research is conducting a clinical trial of an investigational drug on plaque psoriasis. 18 years of age or older. 8-week study. It's all the cost. It's no cost to you. All 3 visits. The compensation time is up to $225. You know what? You need to give them a call at 575-288-1646. Let them know that you heard this on the Mike Tellez Show, and let's go over there. We're grateful for people that are bringing money into our community. There's so much we can do. I wish there was a way we could wave a magic wand and everything would be back there and fixed. But I'll tell you what there is. There is a God in heaven that we can look up to, we can believe in, and believe, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. He has already given the blood for us on the cross. Now it's up to us to ask God to heal our land. Pray to God to heal our land. It's all been done. We are able to look up and ask God for help. And you know what? There's no better time than right now to look up and be thankful for God. This is Mike Tellez with the Mike Tellez Show. Thank you very much.